My name is Mickey Alice Kwapis, and I'm an artist in Chicago working through themes of grief and natural history. I am primarily a mourning jeweler, which means that I'm working with materials that people have provided to me in honor of their loved ones. Sometimes it's more sentimental jewelry than mourning if the person is still alive. But I work with all kinds of materials like provided hair, ashes, teeth, and then all kinds of creative things. Whatever you can think of that might be representative of someone that you love, I would love to work with it. So I've gotten to work with someone's favorite crayon from when they were a kid. I got to work with the shed exoskeleton from someone's pet shrimp. I've done some Victorian hair work. I've taken a few workshops through hair anthropology, and I've gotten to learn all about the history of hair and grief and how humans use that as a material. And then between all of that, I have a very strong background in taxidermy, so a lot of my experience with handling natural materials shines through in my jewelry work. I make things that are supposed to last for generations, so long after even our great-grandchildren are dead, hopefully the jewelry that I've made for your family ends up lasting. And in addition to taxidermy and jewelry, I also work in other mediums such as cyanotype and stained glass, and I sort of try to marry all of these amazing art forms together. So if you look at my stained glass, you'll see hints at my jewelry. I have a stained glass grub and I have jewelry that I made out of an actual grub. I also do cyanotypes with found parts of birds that have been eaten by my favorite birds, which are peregrine falcons. They're really strong predators and they eat a lot of birds every day. So when they're done eating, they leave parts of their prey laying around the roof and the parking lot. And sometimes feathers will literally blow into my window if I have my window open. So instead of taking those parts and using them for any type of sculpture, because they're in pretty rough condition, you need a whole bird to make taxidermy. So there's no way to Frankenstein stuff together to make taxidermy mounts out of the bird's prey. But after enough people had offered me mummified bird wings, I thought, I should probably do something with this. So I started making cyanotypes, and it's a really beautiful way for me to be able to honor the birds whose lives were lost in order to fuel the birds that I love and get to see every single day. And it creates sort of like a ghostly impression of those parts. And then once I've made my image, then I'm able to give those parts a respectful send-off. So it all sort of comes full circle. And if you look at any of my work, you'll definitely see how other areas of my work have influenced basically everything that I make.